in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Congratulations to the AKAs for Miss Fashionetta that's in session. Today was a quiet day for the members of the Amigos Club that celebrated their 35th anniversary. Mrs. Rosetta Coleman, the president, stated that this was probably the happiest day of her life, surrounded by her pastor, Reverend Muse, surrounded by the Honorable Dr. Perry, surrounded by a young man, Dr. Leon Ed, the principal of John Marshall High School, that spoke about women and their future. He described in detail the life of women and what women must do. He said that women must continue to open new doors of understanding, new doors of achievement. Mrs. David Lee Hall, Mrs. Rosalie Brown participated on the program. Mrs. Janie Lurks won the prize of the day for having the largest number of people present. And congratulations to all of the members of the Amigos Club, and may the next 35 years be your most prosperous years. Things are happening in Oklahoma City, and on next Sunday we will have some very distinguished people in Oklahoma City. And I've invited Mrs. Williams here today to tell me what's happening in Oklahoma City next Sunday.
Well, Mrs. Luper, next Sunday will be Fashion Fair Day. The governor has proclaimed next Sunday, March the 25th, as Ebony Fashion Fair Day in the state of Oklahoma for their 26th year of annual shows to benefit our scholarship fund for the Urban League Guild of Greater Oklahoma City.
I didn't know the Urban League Guild of Oklahoma City had a scholarship fund.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Luper. Every year we give 2 scholarships, one to Langston University and the other one to Oklahoma City University.
Oh, that's really great. You selected Oklahoma City University and Langston University. You give 2 scholarships every year.
2 scholarships every year.
As a result of the Ebony Fashion Fair.
As the result of the Ebony Fashion
How could
Fair.
you apply for that scholarship?
Mrs. Luper, this year we have different guidelines, which I appreciate. Usually the students with an average of over a 2 point is left out of scholarships. This year, a student has to have a 2-point average student, and participate in all activities and be of good standing. All
right, let me make sure I'm understanding. You have to have a 2.0 average.
2.0 average.
And then once you have a 2.0 average, you have to participate in school activities.
Yes, school activities. Be of good standing with your classmates and your teachers. And, of course, naturally, the scholarship committee will decide.
Well, that's quite interesting. I would like to congratulate the scholarship committee. But suppose you had an Einstein in your class that is flunked out in one course and his average is down to 1.0. That person would not be considered for a scholarship.
Mrs. Luper, I haven't known of any scholarships being given to a student with the 1.0 average, but I imagine there would be some that could qualify.
Certainly. Speaking of qualifications, this part of our program is being brought to you by Behold the Walls by Clara Luper, the best book that has been written as yet. Those of you that would like to purchase a copy of Behold the Walls by Clara Luper, all you have to do is call me at 424-3949 or go down to Portwood's Fashion Jewelry, located at 1904 Northeastern, here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. All right, now you're giving scholarships. You're all ready to go with the Ebony Fashion Fair, right?
Yes.
Okay, where will the Fashion Fair be held?
The Fashion Fair will be held at the Civic Center Music Hall, downtown Oklahoma City, 201 Channing Square.
Okay, so you can go downtown now. It'll be held downtown when?
Sunday, March the 25th at 3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock. That's time to get out of church, unless our preachers preach too long next Sunday. So we would say, let's get out of church and get down to the Ebony Fashion Fair at 3 p.m. Okay, I'm all ready to go, but I need to ask you one more question. How much are the tickets?
The tickets, $16 and $20.
Oh, just a minute now. You've slowed me down a little. The tickets are $16 and $20.
And $20.
Okay, now, I don't mind paying $16 or $20 for a ticket, but what will I get with the ticket?
With the ticket, you will get a subscription to the Ebony Fashion Fair magazine, which is 1 year, or the Jet for 6 months.
Oh, okay. I'll have that choice. Now, how would I go about calling in for a ticket?
You may call the Urban League office at 3.
The Urban League? Okay, what is it?
17 Northeastern.
Okay, you're telling me to call the Urban League office or to go by the Urban League office. Go by the Urban League's office. And that address is what?
It's 3017 Northeastern.
What is that telephone number?
The telephone number is 424-5243.
Now, you're talking about the Urban League Guild, and you're confusing me. What is the difference between the Urban League and the Urban League Guild?
The Urban League Guild is an auxiliary to help sponsor and carry out the promotion of the goals of the Urban League. We are we help them to promote their activities.
Congratulations to Mr. Leonard Benton, the Executive Director of the Urban League, and certainly to you, Mrs. Williams, who's now serving in what position with the Guild?
I am with, pardon me, I am one of the chairmen on the committee for the Urban League Fashion Fair.
You're one. How many do you have?
We have six chairpersons. We have 6 members on the committee, and we have a co-chairman and a chairman.
Well, who's your co and your real?
Our co-chairman is Theopa Roberts and Delphia Hawkins.
All right. Now, I am really not interested in the Ebony and Jet subscriptions because I already have one. But I am interested in those free prizes that you give away each year. What kind of prizes are you giving away this year?
Well, Mrs. Luper, this year we have a trip to Mexico versus American Airlines, a mink bow with a matching hat.
Okay, now just a minute. That mink hit me. Now, I've already been to Mexico, but that didn't move me too much because I enjoyed being in Acapulco and Mexico City, but I'm interested in that mink. Tell me more about the mink.
A mink bow, Mrs.
Oh, a mink bow. Just a bow.
Well, it has a matching hat.
Oh, gracious. A mink bow
with the matching hat.
Will be given away.
Will be given away.
Oh, that's really good. If I win that, I'd go to church and shout so everybody can see my hat. I can see myself sitting up in Fifth Street Church, listening to Reverend Bradford preaching with my mink hat on, and when he started out, I'm going to start shouting. Okay, now all of that will be given away along with what?
Along with the purchase of your ticket in your stub. I mean, your stub is put in a drawing box and will be drawn from a box of many others. This year, they will have a 1984 Thunderbird.
They what?
Given away by Ford.
Ford is going to give away a what?
A 1984 Thunderbird.
Are you kidding?
But the drawing
Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
I'm
Are you
kidding.
telling the 600,000 people that are listening to me that you're going to give away a Thunderbird?
Mrs. Luper, the drawing will be 160 cities in one person, but the people out of Oklahoma City will have a chance to win.
So what I will do, I will put my ticket in a box here, and there are 160 tickets where the Ebony Fashion Fair will be shown, and in one of those cities, they will give away a Ford.
A Ford.
Okay, I remember one time, we used to have a Ford as president, but we took care of that. One question, and I'm going to let you go, Mrs. Williams. I do appreciate your taking out from your busy schedule, being my very distinguished guest today. People go to the Ebony Fashion Show, and certainly I will be there. One of the former Miss Black Oklahoma contestants, Miss Black Tulsa Sissy Henderson, will be here. But I want to know from you, and I'm very serious, why do you think young people should go to this fashion show?
Well, Mrs. Luper, this is an elegant affair for all young people because of the fact that the clothing that they're wearing this year are for young people as well as older people. The colors are beautiful, and some of them can wear full dresses, tube dresses, silk, satins. I mean, the materials and the dresses are just really fashionable this year.
So that you think they should go. Well, I think, how about old folks?
Well, as I said, young as well as us old.
No, you didn't say us old. You meant you old. Okay, us young. Now, I would like to certainly endorse the Urban League Guild's Ebony Fashion Fair. It's one of the highlights of the season, and you see clothes that you can continue to dream about.
Well, you can wear some of those because...
Who can pay for those clothes? Those dresses average what?
Now, Mrs. Luper, if you will watch, they have some things from Sears and some fashions of Art of Simplicity if you can sew.
If you can sew. But most of those dresses that are selected run in a $2,000 and $3,000 bracket, don't?
That's true.
Okay, well, I know one thing. Those champions will be there because they would love to be there to see those beautiful Ebony Fashion Fairs. And we got some champions, Mrs.
We have one of the girls in the show this year is from Tulsa, and this is her second year.
That's Miss Black Tulsa. She
Yeah,
was part
she
of the
was
Miss
Miss
Black
Black
Oklahoma
Tulsa.
pageant, Sissy Henderson.
Sophia Henderson. She's 19 years old this year, and the girls will love this. We have twins this year.
Oh, yes, they are from Dallas.
Beautiful.
Beautiful
Are you
twins?
supposed to say beautiful for men?
I don't know. I don't
But
know.
they
I'm
are
from Hoffman,
supposed to be-
Oklahoma,
they're
and we
supposed to be
say
good
we
looking.
don't say beautiful. We say handsome.
Handsome.
This is a Clara Luper radio show, and thank you so very kindly, Mrs. Williams, for being my very distinguished
I
guest
have
today.
something for you, Mrs. Luper.
Well, I just love for people to give me something. I want all
Those
my
are the
flowers
tickets.
when I leave. These
Those-
are tickets for me.
Those are tickets for you for the Ebony Fashion Show.
Oh, well, thank you so very kindly. I have my tickets, and I'm on my way to Mexico. No, I'm not going to Mexico. I'm gonna win those meats. Yes.
And this is another gift for you. If you love to make desserts, if you are a cook, that will be in one of the brochures. And
Oh.
all of the brochures, and also that company will be presenting gifts.
Okay, well, I'm a very good cook. I cook as well as Rose Brown. This is Clara Luper Radio Show, and this portion of our program is brought to you by the House of Bingo. How about some real bingo? I'm talking about some real bingo. If you really want to play bingo, you don't have to go across town to do it. All you will have to do is to go to the Northeast Shopping Center, to the House of Bingo, sponsored by Mr. George Singer, who gives away gifts every night. You can also play mini bingo in the mornings at 11 a.m. Calvin, I told you I was going to get those champions out here. I told you I was going to get those champions, and I have those champions.
Well, you certainly do, and they're jamming up the room, but it's good to be among champions, and I'm like to say this time publicly, I've told a lot of them privately, but I'm extremely proud that Douglas High School basketball team, the cheerleaders, and not to mention that coach is sitting back in the corner there. I think they've come a long way, and even watching the games today, I'm looking forward to seeing some of them playing somewhere on some major team across this country, and it's a great bunch of guys, and I'm looking forward to the interview. I wonder how you're going to be able to interview some champions in Oklahoma-style basketball. How can you do that?
Oh, it's a very simple subject and very simple to do. The easiest job that I have is just interviewing champions. But what makes a champion?
Now, unfortunately, I have not won a tournament, a major tournament. I did do debate, and my good friend Alonzo Kelly and I, we did win one tournament, though, come to think of it. And it took a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of practice. I think in terms of basketball, you have to put all three of those things together, plus a winning attitude, plus being able to work together, plus being able to have some good parents that are willing to sit there and go to all the games and make sure that you have a healthy meal and things. I think a champion is not just made, but a champion is developed over the years. And I look around the room and I see some champions that we'll probably be seeing a lot more of.
Well, they sure are well fed because in the first place, I can say one thing for their parents. They must have really done a good job. And how you do, sir? And what is your name?
My name is Phil Ingersoll.
Phil. I saw you. I remember you quite well from Star Spencer.
Yeah, I was out there 3 years.
You were out there 3 years, and you left Star Spencer to come to Douglas High School.
Right.
Was that a demotion or a promotion?
No, it's definitely a promotion. That's why I went.
No, I don't know now. You went.
It was a promotion, yes.
It was a promotion.
Yes.
And you're now the head, what?
I'm the head basketball coach, boys basketball coach.
Oh, well, that should be exciting. Now, Douglas has, I think, if I can remember my history right, for 28 years they've been trying to win a championship. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Were you aware of that record when you went to Douglas High School?
Yes, I was.
And how did you change a team that could get just about to the championship and lose and carry them on through?
I think the main thing, that all of us strive, to reach was just a mental approach, where that, we would not go into a tournament, thinking that we was going to lose or possibly get cheated. We went there with the idea that, we was going to be mentally strong enough to overcome whatever that we faced.
I saw your attitude when you defeated John Marshall High School. I didn't like that attitude.
Well, it's like that sometimes.
Yes, it's really like that sometimes. Let's talk about you've been there 2 years.
I've been at Douglas 5 years.
You've been at Douglas 5 years, so it's taken you 5 years to get a championship team. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Why so long?
Well, when we first went to Douglas, like I say, there were several attitudes, that different people had, and some of our players had that we had to change. By we, I'm talking about me and Coach Kelly. We first went down there together, and we started down there at the same time. And a lot of people had what I would consider a losing type attitude, or attitude, such as we can win, but something bad is going to happen to us. And the main thing, that we worked on was just a better mental attitude.
Who are your assistants, and what is the job of an assistant?
Okay, two assistants on our team is Coach Kelly, Coach Willie Kelly, and Coach Marvin Mack. Now, assistants, they work just as hard as a head coach, and most of the time they don't get near the publicity that a head coach gets, but they're always there. I will say that the two assistants, that I'm fortunate enough to work with, are very loyal, to myself and to our program, which is, very important when you're talking about, high school basketball team.
And you're saying that they are very loyal to you?
Yes, they are very
and they
loyal.
work hard?
Yes, they work real hard.
Introduce them to me.
Okay. Right here is Coach Kelly. We'll let him sit down there first.
Coach Kelly,
Yes, Miss Luper.
I'm so happy to have you here today, sir.
Glad to be here.
They tell me you looked good in Tulsa.
I hope so.
What were you wearing?
I can't remember. I was too
You-
happy.
Well, everybody else remembers. That's the first thing I heard. So you should have seen old Kelly. Kelly was doing everything. Now, is it true that Mr. Ingersoll, is that right,
Yes, ma'am.
is an understanding head man?
Well, I think most of all, he cares for the kids, the players, and that's the most important thing because.
Not caring for the assistants?
Well, yes, he cares for the assistants, definitely.
Okay,
If
but he
we
cares
wouldn't
for
be
the
there.
kids.
Right.
He
number
cares for
one,
the kids.
Well, the game is for the kids, for the players. And he cares about them not only as basketball players, but as students in the classroom and as young people developing, moral attitudes and so forth.
What does he do? Go around with a sheet of paper and check on their grades?
Sometimes, if that's necessary, yes.
But suppose he finds one on his team that's not working up to his potentials. What does he do?
He doesn't play. Or there is some other action taken to let him know that as a coaching staff, we're not happy with what he's doing in the classroom.
Okay, now you're an assistant. What are you an assistant to?
Douglas High School boys basketball.
Okay, now aren't you assistant to one particular play or something, or do you just go out there and do it? Or do you specialize?
Well, basically, I work with the guards and the forwards, and Coach Ingersoll basically works with the postmen.
You work with the guards and the forwards?
Yes.
Okay, how do you work with?
Well, we have different drills that they go through. For example, we call a guard to post drill, dribbling on stopping and shooting and so forth. It's different type drills we go through to try to create game type situations so that when we do play, in a game that it's no big deal. We just like practice.
Just like practice.
Right. That's the whole key. You try to get your kids mentally prepared to play, go have fun, and it's just like practice. There's no pressure. You go play. And I think that this year we had a group of kids, excuse me, who went out and had fun playing the game, had fun playing together, and it paid off in the end.
Now, on that final timeout, do you remember what you told those young men?
No, I was not in the huddle. Basically, Coach and I talked before the game, and once we decide what we're going to do, I don't get in the huddle. I'll be checking to see who's coming in for the other team, what subs coming in.
Oh, you don't
so
get in the
forth.
huddle?
No.
This is the Clara Luper radio show, and this part of our show is being brought to you by M&W Welding Company, located at 1314 North Oklahoma. And incidentally, they have moved on Northeast 23rd Street as you come around the curve. Don't forget that. That's the M&W Welding Company. The telephone number is 232-7760. Sir Charles Attila says, congratulations to Douglas High School, the champions of champions. Sir Charles Attila is located at 6225 Southeast 15th Street. The telephone number is 733-7600. Congratulations to the Douglas Trojans from Mr. George Singer, 3613 North Everett Street, here in Oklahoma City. He operates the House of Bingo, open 6 days a week from 7 to 11 p.m., and I'm talking to that Mr. Kelly. When we say Kelly, what Kelly are you?
My name is Willie Kelly.
Now, Willie Kelly, where did you go to school?
I went to school at Douglas High School,
And where did you go to college?
Langston University.
Langston University. Oh, Mr. Ingersoll, I forgot to ask you. You're a graduate of what college?
East Central University in Ada, Oklahoma.
Oh, well, that's great. We got Oklahomans. That's really great. I want to meet Mr. Mack, and I want to know what does he do. I cannot imagine Mack getting tough. How you do, sir?
How are you, Ms. Luper?
Okay, now which one of these Macks are you?
Well, I'm Marvin Mack.
Okay, Marvin, I would like to congratulate you.
Thank you very much.
I understand you're an assistant to the champions.
Right.
Okay, how long have you been an assistant?
This is my second year with the Douglas boys basketball team.
Why did you select Douglas High School?
Well,
Yes?
when I first started into the public school system, my ultimate goal was to work at Douglas High School. And I was fortunate enough 3 years ago to make that move.
Why? What's so magnificent about Douglas High School?
Well, coming from Guthrie, Oklahoma, all you heard about was Douglas High School. And therefore, my ultimate goal was to get there and just to see what was all about the Douglas program.
Have you worked up to your potential since you've been there?
Well, I think I have.
Okay, now let's talk about that 1984 championship team. Why do you think they were able to do what no other team could do in 28 years?
Well, from observing for the past 2 years from working with them, unity and togetherness will win championships, I think. Well, it's very evident we won.
You had unity
Right.
and what else?
Just togetherness.
You sure were together on one thing. I was getting that ball in that basket. I can tell you that. You were together on that. Now, do you think really that the young men on that team are worthy of the honors that they have received? I'm talking about basically. Do you really think those young men are worthy?
Very much so.
Why?
Well, like Coach Kelly stressed, it starts in the classroom. And I observe the kids and watch them. They study, they get their homework, they get all their studies together. And when they hit the basketball floor, it's very obvious that putting the ball in the hole, listening to the instructions from the coaches, and as a result, we're state champions, Ms. Luper.
How did you feel in Tulsa that night?
Well, it's a great feeling. It's a feeling that you would have to either be a ball player or a coach or a real serious fan to really get the feeling.
You can't describe that feeling in
Oh,
words.
it's undescribable.
Oh, I forgot. I should have asked the question. Would you describe that feeling, that winning feeling for me? And Mr. Kelly, I want you to describe it.
A winning feeling. After as hard as we worked like you mentioned before. We worked 5 years to attain this goal, and it's something that never happened in 28 years. So it's a feeling which is still undescribable. I'm still just kind of on cloud nine.
Oh, I see. Would you describe that feeling for me? That special feeling.
I don't know if I can describe it for you, but it felt so good, like you.
Well, you wasn't in the huddle.
No.
Okay,
No,
but
I was in the
describe
huddle
that
before
feeling.
the game.
Okay, but describe that feeling for
It's
me.
like climbing a mountain and reaching the top. It's a goal that you work for. Some people coach 30 years and never reach that goal. And when you coach 5 years and reach it, it's something that it's like a dream. You don't really believe it. Like coach, I'm still kind of in a daze. Tomorrow night we go out to the Board of Education and they're going to honor the basketball team. So a lot of good things are happening to our players and to our program, and we're getting some positive publicity for Douglas High School, and this is great.
Okay, now I would like to also remind you that they are the state champions now, and Douglas High School can no longer claim them. They belong to us. Those are our champions, and I want to meet them in just a minute, please. I really would like to meet the champions. I would like to have the opportunity to sit down by the champions. This is the Clara Luper Radio Show, KAEZ Radio, here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Seals Cleaners say congratulations to the champions. 3617 North Everett Street here in Oklahoma City. You can put your clothes in at 8 a.m. and you can get them out at 8 p.m. That's Seals Cleaners here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big moment in my life, because at this time I'm going to have the opportunity to shake hands with champions. I'm going to have the opportunity to talk to 3 young men that represents the best in sports in the state of Oklahoma, and this is an honor for me. Number 8, is that right? Oh, your number's 44, and he has on a number 8 shirt, place, and I think that's correct. Douglas, what are you doing with a number 8 shirt on and you're number 44?
My practice suit.
Oh, you have different suits. You have some to practice in and some to play in.
Yeah.
Well, that was not true at my school. I'm a graduate of Grayson High School. We never won any games, except once when we beat Clearview. We never went to a state championship. And the sad part of it, we never will, because Grayson High School is no more. But you are number what?
44.
44. And your name, please?
Terry Long.
Terry Long. Terry, a certain young lady called me and told me to make sure that I interviewed you today. And I'm going to interview you. I want to know what grade is Terry Long in.
I'm a senior.
You're a senior this year? How long have you been playing basketball?
About 7 years.
7 years. Let's go through your basketball history. Where did you start playing?
I started playing at Rogers Middle School
Why did you start playing basketball?
because I liked the game.
How did you know you liked the game?
Because I watched other players.
You watched the other players. What other player did you admire enough to watch?
Louis Armstrong.
Oh, you watched Louis Armstrong. Did you learn anything from Louis Armstrong's life?
Yeah, I learned.
What did you learn?
Don't get out in the streets.
Well, if you learn that, you learn your lesson well, because Louis Armstrong was one of the most promising young men in America. Okay, let's talk about this year. I saw you last year on that team, right?
Right.
Why didn't you win the championship last year?
Well, I guess it wasn't mentally tough.
Oh, you call it mentally tough.
Right.
I notice your coaches are really use that word quite often. They have convinced you that you're tough on that basketball field. Is that right? Now, do you really believe you're tough?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your record this year. What kind of record did you make for yourself since you're so tough?
27 and 1.
27 as one as a team? Do you think you contributed to that team?
Yeah, I think I did.
Okay, what would you say that you contributed to that team?
Leadership
Leadership. What kind of leadership?
on the floor, you know.
No, I don't know. Now, I told you I'm from Grayson High School. I don't know anything about getting out there on the floor.
Well, when things went bad, you know, I brought team players back together. And
You brought the players back together.
Yeah.
How could you bring players back together when things went wrong?
Just talked to them and did everything else right.
What did you
know.
tell them?
You know, I just told them.
I don't know what you told them now, Terry. Don't put me on that. I told you I'm from Grayson High School. The team is falling apart. Looks like you're going to lose. And all at once you do what?
Just tell them, you know, get yourself together. Don't worry about what can happen. It's gone. You know, forget it.
And they followed your leadership.
Right.
Okay, now let's talk about you now. They tell me that you got teachers over there that check on your records. Is that right?
That's right.
Are you pleased with those kind of teachers?
Yes, I'm very pleased.
You want somebody going around checking on you?
Right.
Okay, now what's going to happen to Terry? Because in the next 9 weeks, Terry will be saying goodbye to dear old Douglas. What's going to happen next to Terry?
Terry plans to go to college and play basketball.
Really?
Really.
Well, I am really happy that you're going to college and play basketball. I'm not going to ask you what college you're going to because I know all of the scouts have been looking at you and what have you. If you had one moment to remember in your life, it would probably be that big moment in Tulsa. What do you remember about that last few seconds?
Well, I remember one of the players fouling me about 5 seconds ago, and I missed the free throw, and they had a chance to tie it up to set it in overtime. But unfortunately, they missed the shot, and we won.
What were you thinking when you missed that free throw?
I wasn't thinking about it. I don't know. I just tripped. I don't know.
And then it was time for somebody to come in and give you some leadership, right?
No.
Okay, Terry, let me talk to these other champions. And congratulations to you, Terry. And I want you to know that I'm really proud of you. Here's another champion. I've always wondered about him. Doesn't have the height like all those others, but gosh, he handles that ball. And your name is?
Kenneth Fales.
Kenneth Fales. I've remembered your family for years, and here you are. Are you a senior, Kenneth?
Yes, ma'am.
You're really a senior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
He says. He's a senior in high school, and you're a champion.
Yep.
Okay, now, your daddy didn't quite make it as a champion. His team didn't make it. And you tell him when you see him tonight, Miss Luper say, that I saw him play. He used to play. Kenneth Fales used to play, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Okay, but one thing I can say about old man Kenneth Fales, he didn't become a champion. But I guess after all, his dream did. Because I think your parents have followed you with undue, I don't know, I can't even describe it, but tell me about those assistants, Kelly and Mac. What kind of guys are they?
The two coaches that really care about you, you know, just more than basketball, you know. They want to make sure you go to class and, you know, they care about more than just basketball for you, you know.
How about Ingersoll? Does he really care what happened to you as a student?
Yes, he do.
How do you know that?
I've been off when we got what we call a magic room. You don't do right, they get you right there.
Really? Oh, I see now. So they have a magic room, and if you don't do right, they get you in that magic room.
Yeah.
And when they get in that magic room, they take care of business, right?
Yeah, a little discipline.
A little discipline, not too much. Do you think that? What did you win?
The Class 4A state championship.
Okay, now did you go to Tulsa to win the state championship?
Yeah, we had no doubt in our mind that's where we was going from.
You had no doubt in your mind you're going to win when you left Oklahoma City.
Yeah, we knew we was going to win.
How did you know it?
We came too far to lose.
And you actually feel like, and you actually felt like when you left Oklahoma City, you were going after the championship cup.
Yep.
What did you think when you had to go overtime with Star Spencer?
We didn't go overtime with Star Spencer.
Who did you go overtime with?
Nobody.
You didn't have to go overtime? Not in the state finals?
No, ma'am.
Okay, well, let's go over the games you played then. What games did you play in the state finals?
First of all, the first night we played Northwest Classroom.
What were the scores?
They beat them by like 24 points.
Okay, you've knocked down Northwest Classroom. What's next?
Duncan.
Duncan is up. Douglas is ready. The two big D's. What happened then?
They got the same thing.
How many points?
I think they got it by a little worse, about 30. I think.
Okay, so you're getting hungrier and hungrier for that championship. You gave them, okay, now, the third game.
Played Star Spencer.
Star Spencer. You scared to death of those Bobcats,
No,
aren't
they
you?
were scared of us.
Okay, so the Bobcats and the Trojans met, right?
Yep, for the third time.
I want to know, what did Ingersoll say in that huddle before you all went out to play Douglas? I mean, to play the Bobcats. Huh?
He just told us to go play our game and play hard and everything will be all right. Which it was.
Everything was all right.
Yep.
And you are Kenneth Fayers. What happens to you now that you are a champion? Nothing's going to happen. Then I see no advantage of being a champion.
Ain't nobody else did. You know, we the first ones to do it.
In 28 years.
Yes, ma'am.
But 28 years ago, somebody else did it, which basically means it will be 200 and something before somebody else do it again. Or do you think that these three men that are here today talking about all this mental discipline will be able to do it next year?
Yeah, I think they're going to do it again next year.
Thank you so much, Kenneth. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a Clara Luper radio show, and I will soon be talking to the most beautiful young ladies in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. But I have a young man here. I just want to look at his hands. Are these hands for real?
Yeah, they for real.
And your name is?
Tim Bourne.
Tim Bowens. Tim, how old are you?
I'm 18.
I just can't believe you're 18, Tim.
Yeah, I'm 18.
Are you a champion?
Yeah, I'm a champion. Ever since March 10th.
Ever since March the 10th,
That's
you've
right.
been a
Yeah,
champion.
that's when we took it.
You took the
Yeah,
championship.
we took the championship.
How do you feel about being a champion?
It feels great. I'm still in the days from winning it. You know, I probably will be for a long time.
I don't know that because I'm from Grayson High School, and we have never won a championship.
Yeah, I remember you telling me y'all were losers, so I couldn't explain it to you. You know,
You-
I could explain it to you. Yeah, but we're champs.
You're a champ. So a
Mhm.
champ. You're a champ. Let me ask you this. What did the girls say to you when you got back?
Some of the things I can't say that they said to me, but it was quite a few things.
Did your popularity increase?
Yes, it did. People love winners.
Girls love
Yeah,
winners.
everybody loves winners.
Oh, so you're sure the girls love winners?
Yes, I am.
Okay, now let's talk about your future. What are you planning now?
I plan to go to college and play college ball and get my education, get a degree.
Oh, you really plan to do that?
Yeah, I plan to do that.
What have you gotten at Douglas that will help you?
My education with the teachers, you know, my classes, and learned a lot from the coaches too.
What have you learned from those three courses?
I learned how to play together and how to look out for other people.
So you are a man that looks out for people on your team.
Yeah, I am.
Do you think that in the next 20 years that you all would come back together and say we were champions during these dark days?
Yeah, I like to hope so. I think we will, you know, because this is something we always wanted. So I think we'll get back together and remember, you know, that last night we was together and we won it all. Talk about it.
Congratulations. I certainly have enjoyed being with you. Stay around because I'm going to let you see my pretty girls. This is a Clara Luper radio show, and I've just gotten through talking to champions. They are handsome. I want to tell all you young ladies, these are some handsome champions, and if you love handsome champions, I have three out here. I just hate this isn't television so you can see them. And they all have some different style haircuts. I'll tell you about that later on. This is the Clara Luper radio show, and Miss Black Oklahoma City will be held on April the 14th, and I have a lovely young lady here, and your name?
Deletta Samuelson.
Deletta, you have seen these champions, and I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
What do you think about them?
I think they're all very nice looking young men, and I'm glad that they're champions.
Oh yes, they're very. Maybe we should ask them to escort the Miss Black Oklahoma City contestants down at the Quality Inn Central. Do you think we would get in some trouble?
I wouldn't mind. I don't think so.
Would you mind being escorted by those champion team?
Not at all.
Oh gracious. Okay, now let's talk about you. You decided to get in Miss Black Oklahoma City, right?
Yes, I did.
Why did you decide to get in the pageant?
I decided to get in the Miss Black Oklahoma City pageant because I thought it would be a lot of fun. I thought it would be an excellent learning experience and to meet lots of new people and just to have a good time.
Oh, you're going to have a good time
Yes, I am.
all the time. I wonder if I would say, Mr. Ingersoll, could your championship team escort the most beautiful young ladies in Oklahoma City at the Miss Black Oklahoma City pageant?
They most definitely could.
Oh, I know I'm going to get in some trouble with all you young ladies that you Trojans. I'm going to get in some trouble. I'm going to invite them. I'm going to send them an invitation and let them, I don't know. That will be quite exciting. Then everybody that attend the pageant can see them. I can see one of them named Long Blushing now. That would be quite interesting. Okay, but you'd like to invite all your friends to the pageant?
Yes, I would. I'd like to invite all my family and my friends and everybody to come on out to the pageant and enjoy themselves.
Okay, thank you so very kindly. And my next young lady here, I'm surrounded by beauty and by champions. Your name?
Tanner Hubbard.
Tanner Hubbard, very beautiful young lady. Are you excited about being here today with the champions?
Very much so.
Do you think you will win Miss Black Oklahoma City?
Definitely.
Would you like to have these Trojans to escort you at the Quality Inn Central on the 14th of April?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, great, great. That's something. Do you really think you will win Miss Black Oklahoma City?
Yes.
Why?
Because I can do it.
You can do it.
Yeah.
You can get out there and win.
Yep.
Well, that's quite interesting. Would you like to invite everybody to get behind you and support you?
I would like to invite everybody in Oklahoma City to come out and watch us.
Okay, and that's when?
April the 14th.
And your name again?
Tanner Hubbard.
Thank you, Tanner. Now let's see here. Clara Luper Show, KAEZ Radio in Oklahoma City. And your name, please?
Christy Booker.
Christy, how are
I'm
you?
doing fine.
Would you like to have these handsome champions to escort you at the Miss Black Oklahoma City
Yes,
page?
I would.
Really?
Yes.
Now, I wouldn't dare ask you to select one because I know that they all have beautiful eyes and these champions have a certain style, hairstyle that's quite unusual. And do you like young men that look like these young men?
Yes, I do.
Oh, well, that's great. Do you think you're going to win Miss Black Oklahoma City?
Well, I'm going to try, but I'm really not looking for winning. I'm just out to have a good time and to say that I was in something like that. Because someone's going to lose and someone's going to win, and I prefer whichever would happen.
Well, all right. Thank you so very kindly. And now let me see. I should have another young lady. I'm surrounded with beauty. Your name, please?
Trina Lewis.
Trina Lewis, how are you today?
That's fine.
Trina, would you be disappointed with your state promoter if she would invite the Douglas High School Trojans to escort you in the Miss Black Oklahoma City pageant?
No, I wouldn't.
Would you enjoy these champions escorting you?
Yes, I would.
Oh, that's quite great. Would you like for your promoter to select one for you, or would you like to do it yourself?
Either way.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad you trust my ability because I come from that tribe in Africa where they select their wives and husbands and things. I love that. I love Africa. Someday I'll go there. I want to ask you, why did you get in the pageant?
To meet new people and to have fun, mainly.
Oh, great. Do you think you will win? Do
Yes,
you
I
think you will win Miss Black Oklahoma City?
There's a good possibility.
There's a possibility that you will win Miss Black Oklahoma City. Do you realize that if you win Miss Black Oklahoma City, you will have the opportunity to compete against the Village with Gayla Dunn, Dale City, Britain with Rhonda Liggins, Anadarko with Shauna Coffey, Arcadia with Estranella Doolin, Luther with Anita Cook, Green Pastures with Renee Fontenot, Nakoma Park with Gloria Fulmer, Moore with Theresa Lester, Claremore, Oklahoma with Trenda Martin, Langston University with Sheila Harris, Central State with Lisa Washington, Oklahoma University, Damaris Anderson, Northeast A&M in Miami with Jadonna Hatter, and I'll call the other names next week. Do you think you'll be able to stand that competition?
Yes, I would.
And you have that kind of strength?
Yes, I do.
Well, I'm sure glad that you have that. I'm going to leave it to the public. Let the public decide who should win. And incidentally, those of you that would like to be a judge in the Miss Black Oklahoma City pageant, why don't you contact Mrs. Letty Ruth Hunter? You may write her in care of Miss Black Oklahoma City, Post Office Box 14099, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I want to give you, the general public, an opportunity not only to salute these beautiful, talented young ladies who will be back with us next week, but I want to give you an opportunity to salute the champions. I would like for you to call here at KAEZ. The telephone number is 424-3376, and I want you to congratulate the Douglas Trojans. So many times we miss the opportunity of just giving a pat on the back. It's easy to say and talk about our young people, but I'm happy to announce tonight that I'm happy that all of our young people aren't going to the dogs. All of our young people aren't on drugs. All of our young people aren't standing on the streets. These are the young people that are making history. And on the Clara Luper radio show, on behalf of my sponsors, we would like to truly salute these people. I'm sorry that I will not be able to talk to you on the telephone, but I want you to leave your name and a message for these Trojans. And I know you will support every young lady in Miss Black Oklahoma City, and we want to turn out in large numbers. Orange and Son Trucking and Construction Company would like to congratulate the Douglas Trojans. They also would like for you to know, if you're talking about moving dirt, red dirt, topsoil, sand, rock, shale, all you have to do is call 769-4052 here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Congratulations to the Douglas Trojans from Inland Shores, a restaurant that continues to serve the best fish in town, located in Heritage Park here in Midwest City, Oklahoma. Now, don't forget, if you're in Heritage Hall, be sure and go to Inland Shores and get your fish just like you would love to have it served. Remember, the telephone number is 424-3376, and congratulations to the Douglas Trojans. I forgot to ask those young men, how many men are on that team? Well, how many does it take to make up a team? If it's 5, I would like to prepare dinner for them. But if it's more than 5 on a team, I'm scared to death. But wonder how many make up a team. What would you say? Do you have any idea?
17.
17. Let me ask you, how many men do you have on your team? Oh, my gracious. Well, I'm sorry. I won't have them for dinner. I could have them for dinner. We could have some instead sandwiches. But I do want, that's instead of meat, we'll have bread. And instead of bread, we'll just think about it. I would like to have it. I really would. I think I'll do that. Yes, Mr. Kelly.
Well, during the year, everybody's talking about the crunch, the budget, and so forth. We went to Tulsa to play in the Tournament of Champs. We were kind of running short of money, so we had some donations. We'd like to thank all those people and organizations who donated so that the basketball team could go to Tulsa, Oklahoma to play in the Tournament of Champs.
Oh, well, I'm sure glad you thanked everybody. Well, I'm telling you, I want to do something for these champions. I really do. I think I'll have them over for dinner. I wonder would that be convenient. I think I will. I'll do that, and I'll let you know. But in the meantime, I would like to invite all of you out in Radio Land to participate in the filming of Brother President, a movie that's being made here in Oklahoma City. The church filming will be on March 29th at the St. John's Baptist Church. That's 5700 North Kelly here in Oklahoma City at 7 p.m. Now, we have invited all of you to participate. So when the movie comes out, and incidentally, it will open at the Tower Theater on May 17th. I don't want you to say that we did not tell you. We want to make sure that you know exactly what we did. You have Shelley, you're keeping Shelley busy, and Shelley will be telling us the people that call. And I would like for Kenneth Kilgore to call me at the St. John's Baptist Church because Leonardo DeBose will be working with the musicians. And those of you that would like to sing, Leonardo DeBose has an open door policy. All you will have to do is to contact him. And if you can't get him, call me and I will pass the message on. I would like to announce the death of Mr. Harry Lofton of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. That services will be at the Ross Chapel Monday at 11 a.m. The death of Edward Schofield of 314 North Kelly. That funeral will be at 11 o'clock at the St. John's Baptist Church on Monday. Funeral services for Louis Celestine of 26 Northeast 55th will be Tuesday at 11 a.m. And that will be at Ross Funeral Home. Services are pending at Temple for Mrs. Betha Heitch that died this morning. Well, we are waiting on your calls, and certainly if I don't get all your calls in, I will announce them next week. Let's go back over what we have tried to bring to you today. We want you to know that we do have champions in Oklahoma City, and I want you to treat them as champions. Anytime you see one of those Douglas Trojans, salute them because they are the champions. I want your support for Miss Black Oklahoma City, and I want that support now. When these young ladies come and invite you to be their guests, don't turn them down. The tickets are only $7.50 and $10 patron tickets. We also are putting out a souvenir book, and we are not going to let Tulsa beat us. This past week, the NACP held its regional convention here in Oklahoma City, and last night was a sad night because the people from Arkansas and Louisiana told me that there were less people at that Freedom Farm banquet than any Freedom Farm banquet they had ever had. Shelley, here's a good luck. Would you read this for me and see what this person says?
Even though they beat Capitol Hill wishes good luck and best wishes in the future.
Oh, well, that's good. They beat John Marshall, too, and I would like to wish you good luck. I don't know how that happened, but anything can happen. I would like now to thank those of you that remembered my sister with your prayers last week. Onita Brown, who usually takes care of our death announcements, was in a head-on collision. She was in St. Anthony's Hospital, and I would like to thank the doctors, the nurses, everybody out there. And I'm happy to report that Onita Brown is home. I've never seen anyone receive so many flowers and cards and money. You were very kind. And on behalf of Onita and the entire Shepherd family, I would like to say thanks. As I look at the clock on the wall, I know in a few minutes we're going to have to say goodbye. I really hate to say goodbye to you each week because so many things happen. This week I've introduced you to some beautiful, talented young ladies who are trying to represent a city of nearly 500,000 people in the Miss Black Oklahoma pageant. I call upon you to support these young ladies because these young ladies have lived a decent, clean life, and now they will be standing in front of the world saying, I don't mind you're looking at me because I represent the best in womanhood. I have introduced to you today 3 young men that are dedicating their lives in the field of education at a time when teachers are the lowest paid, and these young men could be out really making a good living, but they have decided to stay with education and to train our children. I have introduced to you 3 of the state champions from Douglas High School, young men with their own dreams and their hopes and aspirations. And I want you, the public, to get behind our young people. I would like to see these young people go places where we have never been. And God knows I hope they dream dreams that we have never had. As a race of people, we don't own the big corporations. We don't own any oil fields. All we own are our children. And anytime one of our children make a step forward, it gives us new reasons to exist. If I would talk to the parents of these young men, these beautiful young ladies, they would say to me, Clara, that's why I work so hard. These are my dreams and these are my hopes. And so today I brought to you the dreams and the hopes of our people. Because so goes Kenneth, Terry, so goes the whole world. Now for you young men and old men that have disgraced us this week by being involved on Lincoln Avenue or Lincoln Boulevard, you aren't going to get any sympathy from Clara Luper. Now I want you to tell. Today I've spared your feelings because I have not called your name. I promise you that if I see your names again, I shall call them and repeat them over and over so the world will know what kind of business you are engaged in. I would certainly recommend that if you have any love to share, share it with your own wives. Thank those of you that are calling in. We should continue to take your name. And I want you to remember the Soul Bazaar will be here on May 4th, 5th, and 6th, and we invite you to be part of the Trade and Industry Show. I'm going to tell you about a wedding of the that happened at Lincoln Plaza yesterday, but I'm not going to tell you today. I'm going to tell you next week, and I'm going to tell you about one of the most beautiful wedding receptions that I have ever seen. I want you to know all about it. And the reason that I want you to know about it is because you deserve to know. So if you're waiting on my wedding story, wait until next week, and I will tell you all about the wedding and the wedding reception. The clock on the wall says, Clara, you gotta go. You gotta go. But darling, I hate to leave you. You're so sweet. I'll see you on March 29th. And I want you to put that down. March 29th, St. John's Baptist Church. You are invited to be in the movie Behold, no, it's not Behold, it's Brother President, starring Ron Moore as Martin Luther King Jr. Calvin, you have something to say. I know you're a
Right, I wanted to remind your intelligent listening audience that I'm now working with the Equitable Life Insurance Company and appreciate them getting in contact with me anytime this week or anytime in the near future for their insurance needs. That Equitable is a great company, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And I look forward to talking to a lot more people about the Equitable.
All right, now you are with Equitable. What is your telephone number, sir?
That phone number is 840-3311, and I'm just as close as that phone, or you can call me at home at 424-3949, and I'll be right there. You know, I see some calls coming in, some additional calls coming in, congratulating the Douglas High School champions, and we've had about 5 calls back there, so I think everybody's listening and everybody joins with you in congratulating our champions.
We have a congratulations here from the head cheerleader, Miss Goodwin of Douglas High School. She says that she's extremely proud of you. That the telephone calls come in. And certainly we have congratulations from Marilyn Hildred of Allstate Insurance Company. Calvin, your sister's selling for Allstate and you're selling for Equitable.
Now, that's true.
Well, do you think that you will be able to compete with Marilyn?
You know, I always have been able to outdo Marilyn in just about everything. But as far as the insurance business goes, I'm just looking forward to doing half as well as she's done with Allstate. I know that I can do it with Equitable because Equitable, too, is a great company, and they care about their policyholders. And rather than just compete with Maryland, I want to make sure that my top priority is to give the policyholders the best service available.
Calvin, I noticed your statement seems to have some holes in it. You stated at first that you could compete with Maryland. Was that your statement?
That was my statement.
Then you said you hope to do half as well as she does.
Well, that's what I said too.
Does
the
Allstate
company is a little different from the Equitable in that the Allstate handles different accounts. So
For example,
Allstate has auto insurance, whereas Equitable doesn't. Maryland also sells auto insurance.
And Maryland also sells life insurance. You're saying, and you're telling my public that you can beat Maryland selling life insurance.
Now, okay, I'll go for that. I can beat Maryland selling life insurance.
Well, I wonder if anybody believes that. Call me here, 424-3376. Oh, now you're getting a time scale. Hey, okay, let's go on a weekly basis. Kellen, what do you think about the Miss Black Oklahoma City contestants?
Oh, I'm just charmed by their beauty, and I look forward to seeing the pageant and just seeing who it will be representing Oklahoma City. I'm really anxious to see Oklahoma City come out, hopefully, with another state champion, and that we have never had, not here recently, we haven't had a Miss Black Oklahoma from Oklahoma City. So I'm looking forward to Miss Black Oklahoma 1984-85 being from the Oklahoma City area.
I want to ask you a question, Kenneth, before we leave the air. You've looked at all my girls. Which one of these young ladies is the most beautiful young lady in the contest?
They all beautiful.
Well, one thing I have to give them credit for, they're smart. They're smart. He looked in all of their eyes, young ladies, and said they were all beautiful. It's really time now for Clara Luper to say goodbye. As I say goodbye to you, I just want to say thank God for you. And I want you to be real sweet. I want you to be real kind. And I want you to stay out of trouble. Because you're so sweet. You're so kind. Next week is a big week, and my beautiful young ladies will be back next week, and I'm going to have a surprise guest all lined up for you. But really, I'm going to do something one time in my life that I'm going to really be proud of. I'm going to have the Douglas basketball champions over to my house for dinner, and I'm going to cook it Hoffman style. Clara Luper, KAEZ Radio here in Oklahoma City. Don't forget, I have a date with you tomorrow at school, and be sure you go to school and go to class unless you got some coaches like Ingersoll, like Mike and Kelly that will make you go. Clara Luper reporting KAEZ Radio here in Oklahoma City. Bye-bye. I love you, darling.
The views expressed in the program just heard were those of our guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of KAEZ.
FM 107, the time now is 7:30 right here at KAEZ. This is Terry Jameson with you. Good evening.
KAEZ, Oklahoma City.